Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really interesting unboxing video to share with you guys. So this is from a company called Gry Works. And I am unfamiliar with their company, but if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I am a huge fan of USA-made products. And, you know, according to the images they've shared on their Instagram, it looks like they are machining these entirely in-house in the United States. And I don't know a ton about this company. Any additional clarification from Gry Works would be really, really cool. But I do want to open it up and take a look at it. If you are new to knives, if you're new to the knife world, stuff that is actually made in the United States, and I mean entirely machined here, not outsourced, machined somewhere else, and then sent back and then pieced together here. This stuff, when it's the real deal, is much more expensive than your over-the-counter or Walmart pocket knives. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. So the price may be a little bit shocking, but I know that people who are familiar with the knife world already know this. Today, I just want to get the thing out and, experience it a little bit. Thank you so much to Gry Works for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. I believe this is called the GW1. I believe the correct name and everything will be listed down in the description. Lifetime warranty. Gry Works is proud to stand behind the quality and craftsmanship of our knives. Good to hear. That's cool. I'll let you guys pause this and read it if you want. It looks like we've got the knife and we've got a little tool for disassembly. Let's pull that out here. So what we have is a titanium button lock. Right off the bat, we do have some nicely machined titanium scales. It looks like we've got a titanium back spacer, not contoured. It's flat. We've got a little bit of a button lock there. I am going to go ahead and point out I can touch this right here. I want to go ahead and I want to flip it real quick. Oh boy, that does feel really nice. So something that they mentioned to me right away. Take a look at that blade here. Blade steel on this guy. I will magically edit that in. I believe it's S35VN. If I'm correct, then I will not edit it in, and this will do nothing. I'll just be waving at nothing. I believe it's S35VN, which is fine, right? This guy has a little bit of button stick, but they mentioned right away to me, they said, we are working on getting a button made of a different material to reduce or eliminate button stick completely. Updates on that, when I do the final review, which this is not, by the way, this is simply an unboxing and first impressions. When I do the final review, I will do it based on that new button. I think they said they were going to send me one so that I could do the review. So I am not going to, judge this thing on having a little bit of, and really, I mean, it's pretty normal. Honestly, like the button stick on this is, I've felt much worse on completed projects. But whenever it's a new company, like making stuff in the USA, I'm always a little bit wary. Not because I, don't trust them, right? I mean, it was really nice to see the blocks and the images on Instagram, right? That shows that you're actually cutting these pieces. That was really cool. I'm not so much concerned about that. I'm just concerned that the initial product will not be polished, right? Because like people in the 2024 knife community have really high standards, largely thanks to the incredibly competitive, high quality Chinese companies that are doing things that I never thought would be possible in terms of machining complexity. So standards are very, very high. And with USA made stuff being hyper expensive, much more expensive than people realize, right? I mean, there's no shortage of new people popping into the knife world for the first time and going, oh my gosh, $400 for a pocket knife. This is clearly a rip. They won't do any research. They have absolutely no idea what to compare to, right? Their idea of a pocket knife is based on a simple, inexpensive, basic utility folder, right? Which they tend to be very, very cheap. So, what I'm saying is when a new when a company takes that plunge into the US market and they machine this stuff, it really has to be machined well when, the goal is obviously not to attract everybody, but just get enough people interested in their product that they can actually make it work, right? Make it beneficial for their company. If you're looking at something like this, or you've gone and looked up the price tag, which it is expensive. I want to say that this is like a $500 knife, right? And if you are, you're like, I'm one of those people whose like brain is exploding right now. This is not a new thing. It's these types of knives absolutely exist and have existed for a very, very long time. And sometimes we get real winners and sometimes we don't. But I'm somebody who likes to support U.S. manufacturing. And I also just really like the general, I feel like there is definitely a consistent aesthetic, not perfectly consistent, but there is a consistent aesthetic somewhat for U.S. made products. And I just like seeing that stuff. Well, there definitely is. Yeah. I don't know if it's like developing more. No, it's a little bit less now. But anyways, let's talk about how well they did with this thing. Just trying to rub off what looks like fingerprints to make sure that that's not inconsistency in the finish. No, actually the finish looks pretty nice. Sorry, bumping the camera there. I want to give you guys a nice look at that. It's not a texturing. It just kind of maybe looks that way, but it's just like a dark tumbling, it looks like. This is also a darker finish on the titanium. I do like the lines here. I like how this line up here connects with the swedge on the Tanto blade. I'm not sure if they have multiple blade configurations or if it's just going to be the Tanto. I want to say that they said this was about it was like 7 3/4. Ergonomically, it feels pretty good. I'm definitely aware of the pocket clip, but I'm glad that it's milled and knocked down. The pocket clip also follows the curvature of the handle, especially sort of highlighted right here with this bevel, so that's nice. This is a very large sharpening tool. That's what I'm going to call it, because it's kind of like a sideways, if you're going to use this to choke up, it's kind of like a sideways single knuckle position. I'm not sure why they would not want to include jimping up here. It is completely solid, absolutely solid. This is a plunge lock, which is a little bit, risky. You got to do that to make those work. That, man, you guys really did a good job with that. Like the detent feels good too. And no detent lash. Wow. But you really have to get the geometry good on stuff like this. Yeah. Actually, that's pretty darn good. I gave that last one a little bit of extra sauce there. I'm not interested in doing anything more because I don't think a knife like this needs to withstand any additional spine impact to prove that it will be useful during knife usage scenarios. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It's always hard to tackle that $500 price tag. S35VN is one of my favorite steels. I know that in this day and age, the community expects to see Magna Cut. They expect to see M390, stuff like that. S35VN is, certainly, if you're newer, there's not an enormous difference, but I mean, Magna Cut's very expensive, right? But we're talking about the difference in cost between stuff like S35VN and M390. It's not really that much. The materials alone are just a small part of the equation when it goes into pricing these things out, right? It's more so cost of labor and just the time under the machine, stuff like that, that ends up being the final price tag here. So all in all, my first impressions are this is actually a lot better than I was expecting. Nothing against Gry Works. It's just really hard for me to trust, like that a brand new or a company that's like releasing their first knife into the wild, made in the USA. It's just, it's hard for me to trust that it's going to be done really, really well. Outside of the button stick, this is really great. The finishes are great. The tolerances are great. I mean, you don't have any blade play or anything like that. There's not even any pivot lash. This is all nice and smooth in here. When you're holding the button down, right? I mean, you can see there, it falls with just a little bit of, I guess we call that friction. If they're already aware of the button stick and they're working on, releasing a new button to correct that, then great. If you're already selling these products with the buttons that kind of stick a little bit, it would be really cool if you offered the button, right? If you like upgrade the button or something and you can send it out as an individual piece, it would be really cool if you could offer that for free to customers who have already purchased this product, which wouldn't surprise me if they do, but if you hadn't considered that, that'd be something that you should consider. I don't know right off the top of my head if this is actually available right now, like if you can just absolutely go purchase it. But it's pretty cool. Before I give my final thoughts though, comparing it, because we are in Chris Reeve territory, Les George territory, real USA Demco territory. I'm not talking about the cold steel stuff. I'm talking about the authentic Demco stuff. We're in Hinderer territory, right? So, and at this price point, right, it's tough for a number of reasons to make something that works really, really well. So, I want to wait and see how it feels with the new button. I want to carry it for a bit, use it for a bit, and then I will give you guys my final thoughts on it. But for now, just wanted to let you know it exists. It appears to be made very, very well. Follow them on Instagram for sure, the Gry Works Knife Company. But I think that's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.